Hi, I'm Kayla.
Hi, I'm Becky of A Couple of Bees Reads.
And this is our end of the year roundup. This is the first video we're doing for that, and we're going to be talking a little bit fast, which is hard for us because we're Southerners.
That's right.
But we are rounding up our fantasy genre. Starting with first fantasy novel I read of the year was Fate of the Fallen by Kel Cade. My husband and I actually listened to the audiobook while we were on our honeymoon, 10-year anniversary honeymoon. And
that I paid for, by the way.
Yes. But we greatly enjoyed it. It gave us something to talk about. Next, I read The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, which was definitely a 5-star read. It's beautifully written, beautifully done. Strongly suggest it.
Well, the first book of the year that I read was called The History of Wild Places. Yes. And I loved that book. And the minute I finished it, I knew that would be my book of the month's book of the year, unless something came along to misplace it. And it had a runner-up, but nothing could outplace that one. It was awesome.
Awesome. So next I read Gilded by Marissa Mayer, which was probably more a 4.5 star for me, not because it was bad, but because it's part of I think a duology. And when you write a 500+ page book and you don't give me an ending, I'm not going to give you 5 stars. That said, I haven't read the sequel yet, so I might change my mind when I do.
Oh, okay. Well, another one, we've kind of had this discussion about what is fantasy, what is not. I read several books under the title of genre of magical realism.
Yes.
One of them is The Cicada Tree. I loved that book. And it was just these two darling children, and I mean, they had my heart. It was great author.
And it's funny because I met Robert Gwaltney.
Yes, you did.
When I won a small award for my first novel that has not come out yet, but he was one of the judges.
On submission.
It's on submission,
but he was one of the judges.
Taste,
so there you go.
Yes.
Great. I loved his book.
So next up, Dance with the Fae Prince, which is one of Elise Kova's novels. If you follow the blog, you know I'm a fan of Elise Kova. She writes, fantasy romance novels that are always a good guilty pleasure if you're in the mood. I also read A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I'm a little upset right now because I forgot to order the sequel from Book of the Month. I just ordered the wrong book, but it's okay. Moving on. Well, I do have one more I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
And this is because you really like this author.
Yes.
And I had not read her, and that's Emily Henry.
Oh,
so
I love Emily, yes.
Of all the Emily Henry books to pick up, I picked up When the Sky Fell on Splendor, which was one of her first books, and it's actually science fiction, but since we haven't read a lot of science fiction, we're not gonna make a special video for that genre. But When the Sky Fell on Splendor, it's a great read. It turns out being absolutely not what you expected, and I'm now gonna have to be an Emily Henry fan as well.
Oh, I love Emily Henry's books because she has a lot of it's a different genre, totally different genre than sci-fi, but I would like to read that book because when I find an author I like, I really want to support them, and I really am interested in that. I like to see how diverse they can be in their voice as an author.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is our first edition of our end of the year roundup with fantasy novels. Have a great day, guys.